Good evening. My name is Savina, and I'm the co-founder and director of Aspyre Africa. A quarter of a century ago, I enrolled into university to study history of art. But on a volunteering trip to Africa, I visited a shelter for street children. I knew right then that I could not imagine doing anything else with my life than to try and find solutions to prevent more children from experiencing the harsh realities of what I saw. The dangers they face on a daily basis, the unsanitary conditions, the scavenging for food. So overnight, I pretty much went from the sanctity of the National Gallery to roaming the back streets of Dakar, Senegal at night, and switched career accordingly. So I worked in development for over a decade, with a specific focus on street-connected children. I knew this was my calling, but the lack of real, tangible and long-term impact was really taking its toll on my idealism. I knew that unless I could focus my efforts on what I know has the biggest impact on vulnerable young people's lives, I would lose that idealism. The most important thing was providing access to quality vocational training and market-driven jobs. Aspyre Africa was born from this need, and we have dedicated ourselves to it since our creation in 2014. One of our target groups in Senegal, where we work, are called talibés. They're almost the most vulnerable young people and children in Senegal. Mostly boys, aged 4 and above. They're sent by their parents, often across the country, to a Quranic school. These schools are unregulated, however culturally very significant. And the younger children are often sent by their teachers to beg on the streets to pay for their education. An estimated 50,000 children are begging on the streets of Senegal. While the older talibés do small jobs rather than beg, their education focuses specifically on the Quran. As a result, employment opportunities are extremely limited. Many end up in survival jobs or unemployed, increasing the likelihood of them either migrating to Europe or being recruited into extremist groups. As these schools are not part of the formal school system, talibés have been prevented from accessing formal vocational training. We want to change that and are changing that. In November 2016, our first cohort of students, 9 girls and 5 boys, in this case not talibé, successfully graduated from a 10-month training in horticulture at a local government-led center. They learned about market gardening, fruit cultivation, poultry farming. They have since set up their own cooperative and started growing their first crops. Next, we wanted to provide the same kind of training to a group of talibé. So after careful negotiations, we reached an agreement with 4 Quranic teachers to allow 20 students aged 15 to 25 to attend the training on a part-time basis. They're all doing well, including Abdou, whose testimony I'd like to share with you, although he would have much preferred to be here with you tonight. Abdou comes from a large rural family that struggles to get by. His dad has been ill for a while and can no longer work. When Abdou started the training, he told us he doesn't know what the future will bring him. He was worried that he might end up like some other talibés that he knows that ended up in jail just because of a lack of struggling to make a living. But after only 5 months of training, he told me that he loves horticulture and feels really confident with the skills he's acquired that one day he'll be able to set up his own business. It is his most cherished dream to succeed and to be able to help his family and loved ones who are in need. And this is exactly what we strive for at Aspyre Africa, to empower young people to break the cycle of poverty. But what makes us unique? First of all, our bottom-up approach. Secondly, the type of individualized support we give to young people. Finally, our commitment to sustainability, not only by using local government-run centers, but also keeping our costs in the UK as low as possible. Today we need to raise funds to cover for 5 months of training fees and the salary of our local project manager. Without your help, some students may have to drop out. £100 will pay for the salary of a project manager for 1 week, while £350 would actually pay for the monthly training fees of all 20 of the students. But the impact of your contribution would be actually much more than that. Not only would you be helping those individual young people to secure their future, but it is our ambition to make vocational training centres accessible to Talibé nationwide. As the Senegalese government struggles with issues of youth unemployment and migration, this project could be groundbreaking in finding sustainable solutions. But to make this happen, we need this project to be recognized as a success and serve as a model. The only thing still missing to make this a reality is your support here tonight. £6,000 will truly cover the full cost of all we need to complete this training. So thank you very much.